in this podcast episode, I talk with Jan, which is the owner of the retreat center in the Ecuadorian Amazon jungle, where I spent some time doing ayahuasca ceremonies, and just like to know, like Jan is doing this for more than 17 years, and he was part of around like 1,000 ayahuasca ceremonies. So uh, I think he has like a lot of knowledge, which he was so kind to share with me during this conversation. And we went through topics like uh, how did he start, what is the process of the ceremony, what are the roles there, and like he explains to me also like what do you encounter during the ceremonies, where you can go during the journeys, and how you can make yourself to understand the medicine deeper, and like basically like where you can go. I think it's very interesting like interview, so I hope you will enjoy it as well. Hi Jan, thank you for making time for this talk. Maybe if we could start, like if you just like briefly could introduce yourself and tell us like where are we?
So thank you for your invitation. My name is Jan. I was born in Czechia. I'm 43 years old, and after studies, I decided to continue my study, but in a different way, to study plant medicines, sacred plants, and medicinal plants with the indigenous people of the Amazon, with elders of different tribes, to fulfill my great desire that was to be helpful to others who want to heal or who want to mm, expand their consciousness or improve their self. So I moved to Ecuador, where I've been living for 17 years, and also for this work with the indigenous tribes, with the sacred plant, I built a center on a very beautiful place in the jungle where we can work with the plant medicines in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why did you choose the way of plant medicine? Because there are like a lot of options. How could you have helped people? So why this direction?
So I think I was destined to this because the only thing I was interested about was ayahuasca plant and other plants from the Amazon. So I was only interested in this and very little interested in other ways of healing. So this is why I knew in a very strong way in my heart, following my heart, the place where I should go and the things that I should study. And because I listened to this, so I'm here now and being able to do the work that I like most.
Mm-hmm. Were you able to always listen to your heart?
I grew up in industrial Central Europe town, so of course I was very ill also from the environment, from the society and everything. So this was also another thing that motivated me maybe to first fully heal myself, because I was feeling not very well from everything there. So first for many years it was also healing the wounds that I had from this industrialized, contaminated, overpopulated place. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how did you start? What was the first impulse for you that you knew that you need to heal something in yourself? Because not everybody can recognize this. Many people stay to live in this environment, and then it's not so good for them. So how did it happen for you?
So for me, it was also feeling that plants can help person in a very powerful way, because plants are natural, not pharmaceuticals, but plants and nature. And so if you want to study plants and nature, so the Amazon is a great place because the nature is very strong here. All the elements, especially here in Ecuador, volcanoes, powerful rivers, deep forests. Uh, so, so, and the plants also, we have one of the strongest plants also that are very effective for different types of illnesses. So for me, I was also drawn to the Amazon, and for some reason, I was maybe destined to go to the place where I am now, and I feel that that's the right place. And I have studied for many years local culture and also plants, so I could be a good, provide a good service to people, because I feel that when you see a person who heals in a way that you can see the next day, you can see the person changed in a big way, so that's very satisfactory for me. And so this for me that causes happiness also. So this is what I do. I try to do best to achieve this change to every person, and also to avoid any person being maybe scared or harmed, like it can happen on different places in the Amazon, because not on every places they care for you. But sometimes it's their necessity, because they need a job, they need to work, they need to get money, so they do this work for this goal. But for me, it was never money. For me, it was following this pleasure that I have to make other people feel better and be more healthy. So.
So, what was your first step then? How did you start?
My first step was um, because I've never met Amazonian plants before. At that time, there were no ceremonies in Europe, no way of trying them. So I just ordered from some people who have connections in the Amazon. I ordered the ayahuasca wood and the leaves, and also some Amazonian tobacco in the natural tobacco in the roll, the mapacho roll. And so I was a part of like a community that of people who were also, some of them had experience with in the Amazon, and so they advised us, some basic preparation, So I prepared the plant myself, which is not something I would recommend to people, because it's dangerous also, and for me it was dangerous, but luckily it was also very difficult, not only dangerous but very difficult. And so, but at some point when I was drinking the plant a couple of times, I had a vision where from the darkness that I was seeing came like a very powerful, strong sound of waterfall that was coming and coming and coming. It was like somebody has opened a gate, maybe in the heaven, when I was praying for some kind of healing, for some kind of resolution. So there was somebody putting a key into the door, and the door opened for me, and there was this rush, this strong sound of waterfall that was coming through my body completely, went through me. And so since then I could perceive the healing effects, that visions are coming to me and starting to repair my body, like you repair a car. So, but I also understood that because what I wanted is to have a confirmation that it is a medicine. And so as soon as I understood that it is really helping, is really fixing something, so the next step was to go to study with somebody in some tradition that really understands those plants. And so I bought one-way ticket, sold everything in Europe, bought one-way ticket, and came to Tena in the Napo province of Ecuador, and just knocked on the door of the local Shaman society. It's called, at that time it was called the Association of Indigenous Yachak, the wise people. And so I met the chief there, the indigenous chief, and started and asked him, for teaching. So this was my start, and since then I was learning from different yachaks, from different wise men, and also helping them also, because they need connections with the Western world, so I can connect, I could translate, I could help them in different tasks, trying to be helpful. And so like this, they accepted me as almost like a family member, and so since then I was able to stay here in the Ecuador and to continue assisting the elders for many years.
So how was the progression of your learnings? Like what did you learn?
So the progression is slow in the beginning. It takes many years because I was expecting that maybe in a couple of months I will have a good knowledge. But I first thing I had to wake up from was this illusion that it's something that's, because many times that we think that it's something simple, you know, but in reality it's something very complex that takes many years to understand just sometimes basic things. So so I had to do strong dietas, long periods of fasting, long periods of eating very little, always living on some remote place in the forest, away from society, not being able to socialize too much with other people. Always, in order to progress, we have to keep the progress, keep the energy that we have to be able to build. You know, so it takes many years of not being able really to go outside much. And so very difficult also if you have a partner, if you have a wife, children. So it's very difficult. I was lucky to be to be single at some point and to have a long period for learning also in traditional dietas. Also travel to my next step was also to travel to Peru, to the Shipibo tribe, and so also to learn from their tradition in order to have more knowledge and to know ayahuasca much better in its complexity.
Can you still remember how was your mindset before you started this journey and how it was transforming?
Yeah, I was what I was generally I was closed, like we have closed energy in Europe generally in modern society. We have different filters, different blockages, different negative energies in our body that are blocking us in different ways, affecting our thinking, for example. Sometimes we abuse also substances. Sometimes we smoke weed, or we take other substances or plants in a bad way, you know. So also we receive some of the energies that we receive are not very good for us, are blocking us in some way that we cannot really perceive until we find some good traditional medic who can see in the ayahuasca trance, who can see all the blockages, you know. So it was a long process of also removing, also healing. I'm sure also healing my childhood, also relation with my mother, relation with my father. Those things also we have to have completely clean in order to be able to reach a peaceful state of mind, have a loving heart, you know. So, and also last but not least, also gaining respect for indigenous traditions, because we have the colonial mentality very often, where we come feeling that we know better, you know, that we have studied more, that we have somehow we are more developed. So this is really strongly ingrained. Although in my country we don't have any colonies anywhere in the world, but still we kind of feel superior, maybe. So because our technology that we have, but without technology we don't have much, and so this is where we meet indigenous people who have different type of technology that is also very developed. So with this technology, seeing, you know, and seeing this technology and gaining more and more respect, humility for plants, also understanding basic things like prayer, you know, prayer, and working with the plant energy, also outside ceremonies, because it's not only ceremonies and dietas, but it's also, you know, just living normal life in a way we should, meaning that we should love and care for other people. We should have a tranquil energy, good control over our energy. We should also feel confident also, and naturally happy. We should be naturally happy. You see, indigenous people, when you come here, you know, so they can be happy in we would say poor conditions. We would say we should be unhappy, working in the garden, but they, in their state of mind, they just feel naturally happy from life, from being here, having clean water, having clean food from the garden, having our sun also shining, providing us with light and with heat, so being able to, sit by the fire in the evening, so all those things just this acquiring this indigenous mentality, it calms down a person. It's really good therapy for Western people.
And is it possible for a regular person to achieve this state of living when they don't want to move to the middle of the jungle, or is it the only way?
For Westerners, for modern people, so yeah, of course, yeah, of course, and because when we acquire some energy, we learn something, so that we really liked, and so with this, we come back and we do the work, integrating this in our environment, which sometimes means we have to change a job, or we can do the job in a different way, maybe in a more calm way, maybe if you are a boss in a company, so you understand with the medicines the dynamics between people, and so this is tremendous help with the medicine for people who are leaders, for example, so they can see different dynamics in the group and where their company is going to, synchronize this business with maybe some higher goal, because we can also assist the change that we have here, this global change, this global shift of thinking, so align us with this, and so also start caring more about our workers, start caring for people in our job, so like this, and with this, basically, also anywhere you live, you have nature, you have sacred places, they can recharge you. So maybe focus more on strengthening this connection, not only going maybe skiing, just quickly, or just doing like superficial activities, but also to connect, breathe, stop, spend more time, not only a few hours, but spend overnight, in the nature, and so like this, the nature has great power anywhere. So this can also keep us with the same mindset, and we don't lose much. Honestly, people who don't follow the advices, they can feel like it's a problem with the medicine, because they really cannot benefit that much if they don't do the work. There were some people who didn't do the work, and so they had to come back maybe, and they wanted to see whether maybe ayahuasca is going to help them more, but the medicine told them, no, you have to do the work yourself. And so when you do this work, so it's possible to live with this energy and spread it. Also, not only you yourself, but you can also spread it to other people, share this energy, inspire others, inspire them to do good things, inspire them to have good relations with each other, inspire peace, maybe, so all those things.
So what are the most common changes that you see that people start to do after ceremony?
So common changes, generally, like when they calm down their anxiety, so they can start speaking, for example, communicating in a different way, start feeling more relaxed, feeling more focused, also having better intuition, because in their intuition, now the plant, the new energy is helping them to see a little better with more clarity what energies are, how things are affecting us, and so they can maybe stop doing some things, start doing other things, so generally change maybe finding some new activities that are very beneficial for them, and stop doing the things that are harmful to them. Improvement in their families, because many people have resolution, for example, with their father, relationship with their father, with their mother, or even sometimes with their deceased ancestors. They could connect with, for example, a grandfather with whom they were having maybe some lack of understanding, maybe, and so they can see their ancestors in their vision and find maybe some peace in the relation, pardon some things, and so like this also. Those people also who have strong experiences, also you feel generally they are more cheerful. They look much less stressed. They feel more relaxed in their face. Sometimes they start maybe wearing, clothes that were connected with their old way of life. Maybe some black, not very positive colors, and also black is very good, but what I mean is that they just reflect the healing, reflect the joy also, the joy. So all those things, reflect, the energy is reflected in all their life, all the aspects. Basically, there is no aspect that would not be touched with the medicine.
So would you say that after connecting with the medicine, a person can recognize what things in their life, which effect have on them, which brings good energy, which brings bad energy, and then according to that they can modify their life to feel good and to accept the good energy and get rid of the bad energy?
Yeah, and sometimes it's like sometimes we have, for example, patterns that when we come back, because here we are in a different environment in the Amazon, everything is new, but as soon as you come back, so you come back in the same situation, and so you sometimes start doing the same things, and as soon as you start doing the same things, you immediately receive feedback. You receive like, oh, this is the way I used to talk, to my mother, for example. So so this is not my way now. So you realize this, and you can correct if you want. You can correct, or you do some activity maybe that was okay for you, but as soon as you do it, so as soon as you drink, for example, some alcohol with some friends, so you feel it's very different from what you experienced before.
Oh.
And so you have to adjust. Okay, so for this reason I recommend, we call it after some strong work, after some dieta, we should like be tasting life, not eating too much, but to be biting small bites, and to see, because there is some change inside of us, so it's going to reflect. So tasting and then choosing very often differently.
And during the ceremony, what are the different levels where a person can get? Because with psychedelics like psilocybin or LSD, the more amount you do, like there's different levels, right? Where you can go. Is it the same with ayahuasca? Are there different levels, different realms where a person can go?
Yeah. For example, for some people who don't want, or maybe they are afraid of some bigger cups, of some strong, or maybe they are a little afraid of the experience, that it can be maybe too much for them. So also, nobody says you have to drink a strong ayahuasca the first time. Also, in some traditions, it's okay to drink just a little, and to feel gently, a little bit different in the body, feel some maybe a little different energy that makes you breathe a little more deeply. Maybe you don't have any visions, so this is okay. So this is the first level, maybe when we want to learn a guitar, or we want to relax, maybe, so we can drink just a little. And then when you drink more, when you drink the regular dose, so it's important to like try every time, try a little bit more until you reach the the perfect amount. And the perfect amount is the standard effect of the medicine, where we very often, not always, but very often, we can see visions. Most of the people can hear, almost 95% maybe of people can see visions. So you can see visions, you feel cleansing in your body. Sometimes you feel some nausea, sometimes it sends you to the bathroom. So this is the regular effect. When the medicine is strong, so you are confronting really strong energies. You feel like the visions are very strong. You are like on the verge of feeling comfortable, or sometimes feeling even uncomfortable, because the visions are very strong. So also it's important to be in an environment that supports you, with people to whom you can trust. And then there is the level when you drink too much. So you are going to feel overwhelmed, and it can be very difficult for you to understand at all what is happening. And so or where you are, or whether this is good or bad. And so we try not to give people this experience of too much. Although at some point people who drink ayahuasca will experiment, trying to maybe see what it does, and so they're going to punish maybe themselves a little bit, and learning that it's not that important, that they really cannot achieve more by drinking more. But when you are in an environment that supports you, so ayahuasca is very safe. Even when you drink too much, you can even faint. Sometimes people can even faint for a few seconds or a few minutes. So it's important when you are with experienced people who are checking on you. So those people can help you, can support you, so that you will go through this experience safely. And then we are not afraid at all drinking ayahuasca. We are not afraid, but we have a great respect and try not to overdo it, of course.
And you said that the way forward or way deeper is not by drinking more. So what is the way? How to progress with your experiences, and maybe where you can go?
Yeah, being patient, also go step by step, having a good confidence. Sometimes the ceremonies are very powerful, can feel very life-changing just one night. Sometimes the ceremonies are not very strong, are sometimes a little bit mild, not much is happening. This is also normal. And so it's important also to understand that we need time also, for this reason. We here mostly we have 10 days of retreat experience here, because this is enough time, to have a fruitful, grounded experience, not to be rushing too much. If we do just one ceremony or two, this can feel like you are rushing too much, you are expecting too much from this little time. So generally having great trust. You don't have to do yourself too much, other than being really patient and being having good concentration, because sometimes when people lay down, they don't prepare themselves really well. So we feel like they are tired, they are sleeping. So it's like meeting a teacher in a class, in university class. So you have to pay attention. If you don't pay attention in your university class, you will not remember anything, and it will not be very good for you. It will not be fruitful for you. So in this way, also preparing yourself really well before you go to the Amazon. So also preparing yourself for what comes after the experience, because after the experience can, for some people, it's more important than what they had here. More important is the class that they receive in their daily life. So we try also to have some time, also to spend some time in the nature, not to be very, very snowed under work.
And then during the ceremony, what is your role, and what is the role of the shaman?
So here during the retreats, I assist to everybody, to all people, so they can have somebody who understands the language, and so we can sort out any situation that may come. Because of my experience going through many, maybe more than 1,000 ceremonies, so having ayahuasca, seeing it in all different types of situations and working with many people, so being able to handle any situation calmly and safely. And also because of my training, also because of my dietas, so I also like sharing with people things that I have learned, maybe sharing some uh, uh, healing songs, maybe for them towards the end of the ceremony, or if they are going through any difficult time, also knowing what to do in terms of collecting, for example, different leaves from the garden and cleansing the body from different leaves, which can help uh, the person to release whatever is blocking, maybe. So little by little, hand by hand, for example, sitting by my maestro, Maestro Sina, who is coming here, so also observing what he is seeing in the vision, because we have like a shared television when we work, and so we are on the same level with the medicine, and so we both can see the things that the patients are suffering from, different blockages, negative energies. So in this tradition, I am also strongly advised also to support the healer by also singing, because in this tradition, when more people sing, so it's more powerful. So little by little, some of my teachers are giving me also responsibility, and they feel confident with me also co-working with them or doing some work for people in the ceremonies.
And then the role of the shaman during the ceremony.
So the role of the yachak, of the leader of the ceremony, is to be responsible for everybody what is happening in the ceremony, responsible for their health, for their energies. First of all, creating a safe energy for everybody, a safe energy, safe container that is protected, that you feel protected from any energies that could maybe uh, come from outside. So creating like a hospital for everybody, so everybody can feel safe. This supporting non-judgmental also energy, and strong energy also. And then when every person is going through the process of cleansing energies, so we have to clean the space, help them to release, extract energies, and to put their energies into order, which means with songs, to the songs, they are like healing spaces or hospitals where we can where spirits live and work, and so in those places we can heal our body, heal our heart, heal our mind, and so we end the ceremony with the feeling of some resolution, or something that has been done for us in a good way, that we feel better, and yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned the spirits. What or who are they?
So spirits, the knowledge of spirits is something. It's incredible how modern culture is like laughing at the concepts, because it's been with us for maybe tens of thousands of years with humankind, and we have, and thanks to the spirits, to the relation with the spirits, we could basically evolve and survive, because with the help of spirits, for example, it's a way how it's a relation with nature that we have. It's a way how nature can speak to us, and we can speak to nature, and we can have a relationship. Because when you look at the plant, you look at the leaf, that's one way of understanding, or you can see it in the microscope, you can also see the microscope, you can understand, but this is a way how the nature can speak to us directly, and can help us in a different way. So ayahuasca is is only a tool, is a way how to get a glimpse into the spirit world that exists even without any mind-altering plans. You know, this is something natural for Amazonian people. It's very natural. Here, everybody knows that spirits are, because they have different types of encounters with spirits, very often in their dreams, or even when they are half asleep, or even when they are not sleeping at all. So for us, something very natural, and so ayahuasca is only a tool, like, to see it with more clarity. So for us, it's a tool that allows us for maybe 2 or 3 hours to be able to receive information, and also to ask nature, ask the spirits, because the shaman already knows the spirits, like a people, like you know me, for example. So you know Jan, so you know that Jan is a good doctor, and Jan can heal different types of illnesses. So when you are with somebody who is sick, so you say, okay, so I'm going to, I don't know how to help you, because the shaman cannot do anything with the person. Maybe we can prepare some tea, okay, from the plants, but spirit-wise, we have to invite the spirit. Let's say you invite me as a spirit, and so into some ceremony, and so the spirit comes, I can come to you, and I can look at the patient, I can examine the patient, and I can tell you, you know, with this patient has been maybe taking drugs, so he has this bad energy, and so maybe we need 3 nights. I need 3 nights to be able to work with this person, and so because I don't have any body, right? I don't have any body, but you have a body, and so you start singing the song that I have told you when you met me. We were doing some training, and I was teaching you a song that you have to sing to a patient, you know. So I tell you, okay, now we are going to sing, and so you are going to sing, but it's me who is singing. You are just channeling the energy, and so with this energy can penetrate the body and start fixing the things that are out of order, and so this can result also in the person also having some sensation also in the body. You know, very often during the singing, for example, people feel like blockages has been, maybe some types of dark clouds, for example, are leaving your body, or you feel more relaxed in different ways. You can feel that something is happening, and so this will result in some healing for you. And so for us, it's something very natural, and so it depends how many connections the shaman has, how many spirits, you know, how the spirits are powerful, and this depends. Every yachak, every shaman has different types of training, different types of energy. So there are shamans who are less knowledgeable, who have some healing energy but not very powerful. There are those who are more powerful, and there are exceptional also people who can usually those are elder shamans who are disappearing nowadays because the environment is changing also. Now we eat different types of food with chemicals. Sometimes we are exposed to contaminants. There are no more peace, you know. There is some aeroplanes maybe in the air, you know. So all this also degrades the knowledge of the new generations of the healers, you know. So it's also for this reason it's very important. It was very important for me to come as soon as possible to the Amazon, so that I could still benefit and learn from the elders who are disappearing, because they have 100 years. Some of the shamans I met already died, and some of them, like Don Carlos, they have 80 years. Others have 75, you know. So, and the newer generations, you feel that they do not reach that high knowledge, because they are also distracted by their cell phones, you know, and all this.
All right. So with the spirits, the shamans, during their teachings and during their life, they get to know them, they kind of collect them, to their like portfolio of knowledge, and then during ceremony, based on their learnings, they can call them for specific scenarios what they feel like is appropriate for the person, for the container, and they can like call them to come to help and heal. That's correct?
Yeah. For example, there are spirits that can help the person to feel joyful. Yeah, spirits of joy, so that they can, maybe they feel too depressed, and so maybe too sad, maybe something sad happened to them. So let's call the spirit can come in a form of colibri, for example, of hummingbird, that is transforming into a beautiful woman, that is transforming into a snake, you know, very beautiful, you know. So this is like this is changing their energy. But for example, when you have somebody with some demonic maybe energy, so you have to call maybe plants that are very strong, that are like a soldiers or like armored, you know, guardians who can who are very strong and can help you to scare away or to drive away or to get rid of those entities that were like trying to, you know, to keep in your presence all the time and give you different troubles, you know. So all those things we have to detect in ceremony. So it's like detecting many different energies, and so according to this also you think, and you think what you see, and you think about what you are doing, what the spirits are doing through you, basically.
That's very interesting. And you mentioned some entities during my ceremony. I saw like in one of the visions that there were some entities in like above us, and they were repairing me. Like who are they? Like can you share something about this? Like what do you know about these guys?
So we have different ways how to access places, like you can call it different dimensions, for example. You can access those places to be able to meet those doctors. They are doctors basically. They have different powers to repair different things, maybe to repair a cancer, or maybe to repair some trauma, you know, and things like this. So we use basically. I learned about two ways of learning. One is through having dietas, having fasts with plants. So you do a dieta with the plant that serves you like a door, like a portal to the world of the plant. That can have, if it's a powerful plant, so it has maybe like a huge hospital with a hospital of light, where they take the patient in a nice ambulance car. They have the reception room, then they can scan your body, and they classify, maybe this patient is not very sick, so they just do just a quick adjustment and no problem. If this patient is more sick, so you go through operation room where they need to work on you, and they see if they can resolve, maybe, or maybe you need more time, or they tell you maybe to do some more work, you know, drink some plant, you know. And so with different plants we can access those medicines. Also there is like there are like pharmacies, you know, with different medicines for different types of problems, you know. So through plants. And also the Yachaks here in the Napo region of Ecuador, they not use plants in their dietas that much, but they more do dietas because on sacred places, because this environment is full of different natural sites, like caves or waterfalls, or we have snow-capped volcanoes, we have ravines, we have stones, you know, huge boulders, we have rivers, like here on this river, for example. So here the place to learn would be on different places. There are maybe 6 to 10 different places on this river. They're like some of them are like huge boulders, or there is one boulder with like a pool, in the middle of the boulder, and this is where they see when people are in tune with nature, they are ready for this connection, so they can see the spirits of the water in form of a beautiful woman, for example, that is bathing the child in the pool, in the stone, or they can see like a whirlwind being formed on this stone. And so when you go to that place, to this whirlwind, so you can receive the energy, and then you start maybe dreaming, in the night. A beautiful woman starts visiting you in your dreams and start having relation, like if you were having you are having a regular wife, and you are also having a spiritual wife that is coming to you. Sometimes those two can have problems, because sometimes when the spiritual women they come, they only can like even feel like somebody is opening the door, that the wind is coming into your room, that you feel in your mattress like somebody is sitting in your, and so the wife can your real wife has to adjust to having a yachak as a husband, has to accept that those phenomena also they will be there, because they are going to visit you in the dreams in order to protect you, tell you different information. For example, with powerful shamans, so the spirits come to them and they tell them very important information, like for example, who is going to visit in the community in 3 days. For example, you are going to have a visit, this person is going to come and will tell you those things, and you have to prepare and you have to do this type of response. And like this different, they take care of you really good, in a really good way, so your family, your tribe is protected. So basically, those two ways, like through plants, very similar also through plants. Plants are going to visit you in your dreams also. So those are two plants. Those are two ways how you can enter. According always when you come to different tribes, so they are going to have a little different tradition, little different way of praying, maybe different way of working with different plants. So you just follow the rules, and you have to trust, and you have to see how much talented you are, and what is going to happen. For example, in my last dieta, for me was not so much about knowing spirits, but it had a very important part of seeing my life, for example, and seeing where the problems in my life are, what are the people behind the problems, how to resolve the problems. I also saw, future, what is going to happen, so, and apart from that, I was also gifted to have some encounter with entities that are very, very powerful, very wise. They come to us, and so they know what is inside of you, what are your desires, for example. And so if you pray, if your teachers also help you with their prayers also, so you can meet entities that are going to give you protection in your life, grounding, clarity in your mind, this energy that is the energy of nature in its best form.
That's very strong. But like when talking about the entities and different spirits, there's a question in me that wants my attention, and like I want to ask what's your opinion on it, because there's one philosophy direction that says that everything in this world, in this universe, is the same energy, and that's why like the spirits, the God, or the universe is us, that everything is you. Yeah. How is this related with the spirits? Is this still true? Is the spirits and the entities, are they still you? Are you still them, or it's something else?
Yeah, sometimes because we are very, very we work a lot with the mind, and we are trying to analyze, in our thinking. So we have to have questions and answers, and we have to analyze, things. We are very, masculine, right hemisphere, rational, and this rational sometimes can give you troubles when you come to the spirit world, so you can even feel like crazy because you are trying to grasp with something, understand, and sometimes those ancient practices can be very intuitive, can be very also you work here and now, intuitive, emotional, energetical, without being very, rational or descriptive, So we have different ways, how to learn how to understand the world. There are many traditions, many religions, many philosophies, many practices, ceremonies, rituals, and sometimes, and it's not very easy sometimes, combine. When you learn something in your, let's say, the philosophy you were mentioning now, so you have learned this, and so now you are learning something else, and so in order to combine, sometimes it's not very easy to combine, and it's a hard work. So sometimes this can create also problems, confusions, because this can be against each other, can feel like this. So it was also a problem for me, and so for this reason, I would recommend people also, instead of like learning lots of things superficially, maybe some general things from everything. So it's also very good to also learn something in its depth. So
in what?
Deeply, to study something deeply, so you can understand it a little bit more, because sometimes to really know something, to really understand, sometimes some of the things um, sometimes can feel nice, like they are good ideas, maybe that can be helpful for you, but we try to go deep. For this reason, we use strong plans, we do longer, we do dietas, for example, at least 1 month of learning. So if you compare this with one book that you can learn in a few days maybe, and you don't have to go, you don't have to be vomiting, you don't have to be having strong visions, and so, but this will not, you cannot really compare to when you do something deep for 1 month or for 3 months. So this can help you to acquire some kind of understanding. That is also, it will test you when you come into different types of problems, emotional, or or different types of problems in life, that those energies, that those spirits, that this teaching will be helping you a lot, will be helping you to protect, to overcome your barriers, to give you strength, all those things will prove as something that is, really grounded, really something true. As to when you compare it to something else, maybe you will feel sick and you will go to a healer, but this healer is not going to help you because doesn't have sufficient knowledge. So, but generally, what you have mentioned, also, we have to find maybe inside of our mind, inside of our heart, find some connection with those things, without having too much of chaos maybe in our mind. Which sometimes happens when we are saturated with so many things, and this is going to be a mess sometimes. It's clash, and sometimes those things can go against each other. So it can be a problem with somebody who has really formed in some way, in some religion maybe, in some way, and is coming, for example, to the medicine with some really already closed ideas, and to accept, because you are going to project your ideas. And the ayahuasca, here the nature, it requires you to be very open to new ideas, the idea of spirits, to new ideas, to have a good level of trust also, which can be also very difficult for some people, because we can be afraid, of strong energies, maybe afraid of some visions, afraid of the healing. So for this reason, people very often, they have to feel that they are ready for this type of experience, and so we don't recommend people, you should drink ayahuasca, or that person should drink ayahuasca, because everybody has to mature to this, or it must be a person that inclines to this type of healing, and for other people it will not be their way, so that's okay.
I see. Okay, thank you. And from your learnings and studies and experiences, what did you come up for some conclusion? Like, what is this? Like, what is life in your opinion?
Yeah, I think life is about learning about love, about always finding a way that is more loving, also finding our strength, also overcoming our weakness, finding out who we are, so that we are people who are loving to each other, who are strong, and also we know what is good, what is bad, where we should go. So as simple as that, nothing very difficult.
Okay, that sounds simple, simply said, but it's a difference to really go and live it, right?
Yeah, also respect, maybe I forgot about respect, also being humble, you know, this is also something very important that we have to learn, that we are not the center of everything, although we are, but also on the other hand, we are here with others, with other animals, with other plants that are very important, as they say, that the earth can very well be very fine without any humans. A universe can be very fine, but we have our own way here, that is, I think, to find out what is love, how to be loving people, and also being grateful, also another thing that I forgot. Also learn how to be grateful for things, not to be taking for granted, because the life, whether you want or not, is going to teach you that there is something really nice for us when we are grateful, so we naturally feel very good. This provides us with feeling of happiness, of joy, because we appreciate, we say thank you very much for everything that we have. So also we have to learn sometimes this, because when we take for granted everything, so nothing has any worth for us.
Sure. And maybe like last question to close this up. What is the change that you wish that would happen, like in this world and in humankind?
So maybe we could speak for days about the change that needs to be done, but also respect to nature, respect to the indigenous wisdom, because the indigenous wisdom would be a great cure for us, a great cure for many things in our life. So because I'm here, so this is what we are trying to tell people, that here the forest has a great medicine, and we can learn and we can heal from the forest, and like this we can resolve naturally many other questions that we are facing, because we don't know what to do, what are the solutions from our suffering, how to stop wars and all things like this. So we already have all the answers, just we are just maybe too distracted maybe, and there is this fight of like dark forces and the light, the dark versus the light, so for us should be like orient ourselves a little bit more towards the light. For this we have the ancestral medicines, also the leaders, the shamans, some of them can help us to point in a very good direction, and so like this we can achieve much better reality for us. So in short, that would be my wish, that if this happens, if people start listening, to what the indigenous people are saying, what the medicines are providing, that would provide us with a great hospital for all the sickness, for all the sick people, for all the trauma, so we could start healing ourselves, and when we start healing, so the earth will heal together with us.
Beautiful. Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Jan.
So thank you to everybody who was listening, and if somebody feels like it resonates with you, so we have open doors here, and we are very thankful for every person that comes here to receive some of the healing from the plants, from indigenous traditions.
Okay, so for sure I'm putting the links in the description, and I fully recommend, if everybody feels called, this is the place to go. So thank you, Jan, again.
Thank you very much.